I really like apples. Sorry about that. I was watching Monday Night Raw. What is up, guys? It's your boy, Christian here. A lot of things have happened in sports over the past week. I don't know where to start, honestly. So, I just came back from a meeting for ETC, which is a club at my school. And I've heard news about the Seattle whoa. I was about to say Seattle Supersonics. Still got basketball on my mind. The Seattle Seahawks destroying the Saints. Now, I knew the whole time the Seahawks are Super Bowl contenders. Everyone knew that, especially from last year, how they were undefeated at home. Or I think they had one loss, I don't remember. Kind of forgot how they went out. But their defense it's unstoppable, especially at home. That in basketball, you would think Golden State Warrior fans, OKC fans, you would think Sacramento fans too, has the loudest and toughest arenas to play at. Maybe even Denver because of the altitude, but Seattle is just the hardest place to play at, especially in football, because that crowd is the loudest, most passionate for their football team. They really don't have a lot of other teams. I mean, they lost their basketball team. They lost the Supersonics. Don't even get me started with their baseball team. And second, really the Seahawks. I mean, they love their football. They love their football. And it's been a while since they've had an elite team, and now that they have someone like Russell Wilson, a great quarterback, that defense obviously so incredible. Coaching staff's great. Everything's great. The offense is good. They currently have 11-1, which pretty much seals the deal with their playoff spot. But the way I've heard, because I haven't watched highlights yet, but from what I've seen, from the stats, everything, it's amazing. Now, because the Saints of all teams, the Saints, that really puts them not just as Super Bowl contenders, but they could just very well be the odds-on favorite to win it all if they get home court advantage. If they don't get home court advantage throughout the entire postseason, obviously up until the Super Bowl, because that's another story, I can't see them winning it all yet. But they have proven that they can win on the road. But if they get home court advantage, I'm telling you, the fans, they will go insane. Their expectations for the Seahawks, the Super Bowl or bust. They're passionate, they're loud, they have high expectations for a championship. They could be getting it. So that's just my take on the Seahawks there. I know you saw this. I know most of you saw this. Whoever's watching this, if you're a college football fan, on Saturday night, I believe, maybe it was Sunday. No, Saturday night, obviously. Should be. Auburn versus Alabama. I actually just came home from work at that time. Managed to watch the fourth quarter and watch Auburn scored that last touchdown to tie the game at 28-28. I was watching Alabama, how they couldn't convert on their fourth downs, and Auburn just fought hard. It came back. At one point, it was 28-21, and Alabama could have obviously sealed the deal and scored another touchdown just to put the nail in the coffin, but that didn't happen, and Auburn scored the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. But the shocking part for me is why on earth would Alabama attempt a field goal when it hasn't worked out for them? One, you got your field goal blocked earlier in the play. Two, even earlier, you missed another field goal. So, obviously, your kicker's not feeling it tonight. Why would you attempt a field goal when there's potential risk for a play like that to happen? Now, I understand trying to win the game, but at the same time, you got to go for it, unless you're at a very comfortable distance to get the field goal. But you've been missing. It's almost like an air ball at that play. Don't know what they were thinking, and you know what happened next. Got the return, scored a 100-yard touchdown, and that was it. And when you have your team that obviously is for defensive purposes to protect the kicker from getting his block, from getting his attempt block, you really don't have fast guys to keep up with Auburn's players, and kept going and going and going and scored a touchdown. And Alabama pretty much made the mistake on them. But give Auburn a lot of credit. They incredible. Just give them a lot of credit. They never gave up. They kept fighting. Ranked number 4, but no one really expected Alabama to lose. Till, of course, the final play. That will definitely go down as one of the great plays in college football history, maybe even in sports, because it was just that emotional. Auburn fans going crazy. The faces on Alabama's fans' face will definitely go on for eternity. Because, wow, their faces, especially that one kid that went like this. Priceless. Because of last night, I had to address this. I'm sorry if you're not a Lakers fan, but if you're a basketball fan, stay tuned. Last night, my Lakers lost a close game against the Trailblazers. I believe the final score was, at the top of my head, I don't remember, 111 to 108. I might be completely wrong on that, actually. But it was a close one. At one point, they tied the game with maybe less than 2 minutes left, and could have easily taken the lead as well, especially with Jody Meeks. I remember he attempted a 3-point shot, and it just didn't fall. It just spinned in and out the rim. And Damian Lillard and Wesley Matthews just made incredible tough 3-point shots that just put a dagger to my heart and dagger to everyone in that arena. But what I want to talk about is, when healthy, the Lakers, they show a lot of heart. I wish we had that last year. We don't have the talent. Okay, we got Gasol, we got Kobe, we got Nash, but one, Nash is old, can't defend a feather. Same with Gasol, and he's as soft as a feather. Who knows where Kobe will be next year? I mean, not next year, but this coming season. This season, basically. So, we have all those question marks on our 3 main superstars. It's really hard to generate enough offense. I'm surprised they've scored a lot of threes so far this season. With guys like Jody Meeks, Wesley Johnson, Steve Blake, and even Jordan Farmar, who really didn't get a lot of playing time back when they were on supposed championship teams. And I say supposed championship teams because Meeks and Blake last year were not in championship teams, and Farmer was the only one that's won the title. But they show a lot of fight. They show a lot of fight and confidence too with their shot, because they're incredible 3-point shooters. But the way they attempt their 3-point shots is like, it's still organized, obviously wide open too, especially with Blake facilitating. Blake, he's playing like Steve Nash. I'm talking about old Steve Nash, not the current Steve Nash. It's incredible. He's had 10 assist games. I wish he played like that a couple years ago when he first joined the Lakers, when we were supposed to three-peat, which to this day still bothers me. We got swept by Dallas. But anyway, they show a lot of fight. I think if the Lakers are healthy, they have a chance to be legitimate playoff teams. Definitely better than being ranked 12th in the West. And the sad part is, even if they're ranked 12th, they'll probably still be better more than half the teams in the Eastern Conference, which I will make a video about later, showing my opinion on how unbelievably weak and disappointing the Eastern Conference has gotten, because it is disappointing. Anyway, I want to address the Trailblazers too. Trailblazers, they're a playoff team, but they're not a championship team, despite their record. For a couple of reasons. One, they just don't have the experience. They don't have it, especially with their star being Lillard. Nothing wrong with that, because Lillard is a beast. He has range. He can shoot the ball, obviously. He has great ball handling. He gets his teammates involved. I do question his defense a little bit. Maybe I need to see more of that because I don't have League Pass. But based on what I've seen from Lillard, his defense is alright, but let's see him work on that. And let's see him work on knowing the difference between scoring and passing, because he does attempt crazy shots towards the end. But obviously last night, some of them went in. But Lillard is a beast. He's a beast. He will definitely be one of the great point guards in the future, and I hope him and Kyrie Irving have a little rivalry going. Maybe we could see him in the NBA Finals when they're obviously much, much older. They have a they have a very solid starting lineup. I like what they have. They got all the positions from 1 to 5 covered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got it covered. Well, maybe I do have questions about the center position, but that's about it. They have done a good job adding someone like Mo Williams to add a little more depth to their bench, because that was their Achilles heel last year, is the fact that they didn't have really a bench to support them. Now this year, their bench is better, but not good enough still. LaMarcus Aldridge is an incredible player. He should be right before his prime, maybe at his prime. He can post up with pretty much any. You can't guard what he does, especially in the perimeter, or at least near the perimeter. He can shoot the mid-range, he posts up extremely well, he rebounds, he fights. He's very long, so he blocks his shots, so it's very difficult to defend him. So their 1-2 punch, Lillard and Aldridge, they just need to develop themselves a little bit. One of the main reasons why I don't think they're a championship team is because if they go against the Spurs, maybe even the Clippers, even Memphis, even the Warriors as well, with teams that have more experience and a little bit more talent in their bench and obviously the starting lineup, I think that's just going to be too much for the Trailblazers. And also, this Trailblazers team specifically hasn't been to the playoffs. So it'll be something special if they do make it in the Western Conference Finals, but I just don't see them as a championship contending team, at least not yet. Maybe if they add a little more depth to their bench and a little more experience, obviously, with Lillard and even Aldridge improving himself, they will be. But their record is kind of understood. They're a great playoff team, but they're not a championship team. But they will be. I guarantee you. If they keep that 1-2 punch, that core, they will be.